Welcome to this explainer on Broadcom's VMware Cloud Foundation 9. We're going to unpack exactly how this platform is completely revolutionizing modern enterprise data centers. Look, if you've been paying any attention to the rapid shifts in enterprise tech lately, you know the demands on our infrastructure have literally never been higher. We're dealing with massive amounts of data, incredibly complex applications, and just this overwhelming push toward modernization. And well, that's exactly where VCF 9 steps in.
So before we get into the weeds, I want you to ask yourself this. How do you actually manage demanding AI workloads on premises without drowning in complexity? Because managing separate infrastructure silos simply isn't sustainable anymore. Think about it. If your compute team, your storage team, and your networking team are all operating in completely different environments with different tools, how on earth are you supposed to deploy a cutting-edge AI pipeline quickly? The short answer? You can't. The friction is just way too high.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover the private cloud evolution, unified operations and architecture, next-gen storage and AI, security and Kubernetes integration, and finally, real-world applications. Let's dive in.
Section 1. The private cloud evolution. We're talking about merging those silos into a single stack.
Okay, so at the absolute core of this evolution is the SDDC, the software-defined data center. This takes your traditional hardware and dynamically automates it to give you a true cloud-like experience, but entirely on premises. Back in the day, if you needed more storage or compute, you had to physically rack and stack servers, wire them up, manually configure them. It was a whole ordeal. With an SDDC, all of that physical complexity is just abstracted away. You're basically turning hardware into software, meaning you can provision, manage, and scale your data center with a few clicks. It's all about bringing public cloud agility straight into your private facility.
VCF 9 brilliantly unifies the big three data center components into a single automated stack. Your compute is completely powered by vSphere. Storage is driven dynamically by vSAN, and all those complex networking and security rules handled by NSX. Instead of buying these as totally separate products and trying to, duct tape them together, VCF 9 delivers the whole shebang as a pre-integrated, highly optimized package.
Moving on to Section 2. Unified operations and architecture, moving to a fleet-level view.
Think of traditional infrastructure kind of like a siloed factory, where departments literally don't talk. You get fragmented operations, endless troubleshooting meetings, and basically just IT departments pointing fingers when something breaks. VCF 9 flips that script entirely. It acts as a centralized mission control with a unified fleet-level architecture. You get one single interface. You aren't just staring at one server or one storage array anymore. You're managing your entire fleet of infrastructure as one living, breathing entity.
And to make that happen, you manage the fleet using specialized hubs, VCF Operations and VCF Automation. These completely streamline your day-to-day. Operations gives you that deep visibility and proactive troubleshooting so everything runs at peak performance. Meanwhile, automation lets you set up self-service portals. So now developers don't have to wait weeks for IT to provision a server. They just request the resources they need, and the automation hub does the heavy lifting instantly. Huge time saver.
Let's jump to Section 3. Next-gen storage and AI. This is where we supercharge the underlying technology.
This part is a real game changer. By implementing advanced NVMe memory tiering, you can utilize standard flash storage alongside it to achieve crazy high-speed performance at a much lower cost. Look, NVMe drives are blindingly fast, but they are incredibly expensive. VCF 9 uses intelligence to automatically place your absolute hottest, most critical data on the NVMe memory, while seamlessly tiering the slightly less critical stuff down to the more affordable flash storage. You get ultimate performance right where you need it without blowing your entire IT budget.
And to push efficiency even further, we have vSAN global duplication applied across entire clusters. This is a massive leap. Instead of just compressing data on one single server, VCF 9 looks across your entire cluster. If it spots the same block of data saved in 20 different places, it just saves one single copy and points all the others to it. The amount of storage space this saves across an enterprise environment is honestly staggering. Now, what does this mean for AI and modern workloads? VCF 9 brings enhanced data paths specifically for AI pipelines and introduces vMotion for AI. Historically, moving a virtual machine tied to a heavy GPU was an absolute nightmare and usually meant shutting the whole workload down. Not anymore. VCF 9 lets you do live migrations of incredibly heavy GPU-intensive workloads with practically zero downtime. Your data scientists won't even realize the infrastructure is shifting right underneath them.
Section 4. Security and Kubernetes integration. Securing the modern workload.
All this power needs protection, right? VCF9 actually functions as a massive security observability plane, giving you end-to-end features. Because security is baked directly into the hypervisor layer rather than just bolted on later, you get unparalleled visibility into all your network traffic. It's constantly scanning for threats, ensuring built-in compliance with industry regulations, and providing robust disaster recovery that can bring systems back online incredibly fast if things go sideways.
And we can't forget the developers. The vSphere Supervisor provides this beautifully harmonized management for both your traditional virtual machines and their containerized Kubernetes workloads. You literally no longer need one team to manage Kubernetes and a totally separate team to handle VMs. The Supervisor bridges that gap perfectly. IT admins use the exact same tools they've always used, while devs get the modern containerized environments they want. It is a massive win-win.
Finally, Section 5, Real-World Applications. Let's see how putting VCF9 to work actually plays out. Let's say you're running high-frequency trading or really complex analytics. Utilizing that fast NVMe memory tiering we just talked about directly powers the speed of your high-performance databases. In an industry where milliseconds can literally equate to millions of dollars, this performance boost is critical. The system ensures your trading platforms or real-time dashboards never hit a storage bottleneck, giving you ultra-low latency precisely when it matters most.
Or maybe your focus is AI and machine learning workload management. You need to run heavily GPU-intensive tasks and enable live migration for AI pipelines. Whether you're training a massive large language model or running complex ML algorithms, the infrastructure dynamically bends to fit your exact needs. You get the raw horsepower to train models faster and the agility to do underlying server maintenance without ever interrupting the training process.
Ultimately, VCF9 is the perfect vehicle for modernizing your existing infrastructure. It streamlines your migration away from clunky traditional IT, consolidates everything into a software-defined approach, and establishes a true cloud-like operating model, all without leaving your own data center. You don't have to abandon your on-prem investments to get cloud benefits. You dramatically lower your overhead, increase deployment speed, and let your teams actually focus on innovation.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Based on all the unified power and evolution we've unpacked in this explainer today, is your data center infrastructure truly prepared to handle the AI revolution? Because the AI wave is definitely not slowing down, and legacy silos are only going to hold you back. Embracing a unified private cloud like VCF9, well, it isn't just an upgrade, it's a fundamental shift in how enterprise technology operates. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really encourage you to take a hard look at your own infrastructure and ask yourself if it's truly ready for tomorrow.